a very special welcome to the person who is very familiar with the work of our Peace Medallion recipient. Sonia Karim is the person who nominated Alyssa and will share with us a bit more about all the ways that Alyssa represents what it means to be a peacemaker.
Good morning. My name is Sonia and I'm a classmate of Alyssa's. I'd like to start off by reading you a quote from her blog to give you an idea of why she is a deserving recipient of the Peace Medallion Award. Injustice reigns in this world, and that hurts me. This blog is about speaking out for those who are denied a voice in society, the oppressed, the impoverished, the enslaved. This blog is about not only loving, but having compassion. As I've gotten to know Alyssa, I can attest to you that she is no ordinary teenager. I have been inspired by her community work and perspective on life. If you ever get the chance to talk to Alyssa, you'll be instantly struck by her positive energy and kind nature. She's also very active in the community, whether it be on a local level by helping me out in math class, or she helps build confidence in her peers, raising 2 tons of food for low-income households by participating in food drives, or on an international level, sponsoring less fortunate children around the world to allow them the opportunities we sometimes take for granted. Alyssa is well-rounded in every way. She genuinely cares about the world she lives in, the people that surround her, and the future of others, and demonstrates this daily. All of Alyssa's contributions have been a result of her genuine kindness, and she expects nothing in return. Through her actions, even the small ones such as handing out sandwiches to people on the street, giving advice, voicing her opinions, fundraising, it can have such a huge impact on others and becomes contagious. It can make someone's day or improve their quality of life. We all have the ability to contribute to our communities. Alyssa chooses to do so in a way that does not limit to the cities or people surrounding her. She's an admirable person who anyone would be glad to call a friend. Alyssa is overall very passionate about the work she does, and she's also a great writer, which she uses to her advantage to make others, including myself, aware of what's going on in the world, what you can do to help, and how to be a better person. When I heard of the Peace Medallion, Alyssa was the first person I thought of, and I'll remember her for the rest of my life. It's people like her that make a difference in society. She is not only a role model to people of my age, but to anyone in the community. So congratulations, Alyssa.
I would like to introduce Samantha Tenney, General Manager with the YMCA, to present Alyssa with her Peace Medallion.
I'm going to take advantage of the risers. On behalf of the YMCA, I'm truly honored to be able to present Alyssa with the YMCA Peace Medallion for 2013. Your work is very much appreciated, and you're a remarkable young woman, so thank you very much.
Good morning, family, friends, guests, and community members. First off, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to be here today to show your support and celebrate with me, but more importantly, to celebrate and support the work being done to build more peaceful communities all over the world. I would also like to thank 2 of my great friends and classmates, Sonia Karim and Danielle Matreski, for nominating me for the Peace Medallion Award. It's so humbling to be receiving such an honor. I don't think there's a single moment I can pinpoint where I decided I'm going to work for peace. As long as I can remember, social justice and peace initiatives have just been a part of my life. I was raised in a home where my parents made sure my brother and I knew that the 2 most important things in life are to love God and love other people. Since I can remember, our family has always packed gift-filled Christmas shoeboxes for kids in the third world and served meals at homeless dinners. My brother and I, no matter how young, were always involved. To this day, we're still intentional about working for peace as a family, whether that be through coaching basketball in the poverty-ridden community, buying snacks for a summer camp for kids living in that community, or organizing benefit concerts. A passion for peace isn't just nature. It's been nurtured in me by amazing parents, and I'm so thankful for that. If there's any parents of young kids in the room, I so encourage you to raise your children to be passionate about peace. Aside from my family, only one thing has driven my passion for peace more, and that is my faith in Jesus. As I got older and started to take hold of both my faith and my passion for social justice as my own, I started to realize how these two things absolutely go hand in hand. One doesn't exist without the other. My first memory of a social justice initiative I initiated on my own would be when I asked my parents for a little sister, a sponsored child through Compassion International, which is a child sponsorship agency whose goal is to release children from poverty in Jesus' name. As a result, we sponsored our first child in December 2009. This would basically change my life. I've since become a volunteer advocate with Compassion, which basically means I try to connect kids with sponsors, whether that be through personal connections, social media, or volunteering at events where Compassion has a booth. One of my favorite places to be is behind the Compassion International booth. I see amazing, beautiful stories unfold there, whether it be a pair of twins from Honduras being sponsored by two cousins, or a child begging her parents for a Compassion sibling, much like I did. My family and I have also traveled to the Philippines to meet two of our sponsored kids, which was so incredibly eye-opening and life-changing. Around the same time we became sponsors, I started blogging about peace and social justice, my faith, human rights, and simply how we can all live our lives in a passionate pursuit of peace. The blog is still alive today, and I absolutely love to use my gift of words to cry out on behalf of the oppressed, both on my blog and through other outlets. I'm also part of a church, the Meeting House, which is so passionate about building peaceful communities. I'm a student leader at the Underground, the youth group at the Meeting House. As a student leader, I organize and lead social justice initiatives for students to get involved in. In the past, we've done food drives, sandwich runs for the homeless, a Christmas basket for an at-risk family in our community, and gathered donations and supplies for people suffering from AIDS in Southern Africa. I've also traveled twice to Wilmington, Delaware, one of the poorest cities in the U.S., with the Underground to volunteer with Urban Promise, an organization that works with youth living in at-risk communities, raising them into leaders that will break the cycle of poverty, violence, and hopelessness in their cities. Those two trips stand out to me, along with my trip to the Philippines, as trips that changed my outlook on life and deepened my passion for using my life to end oppression, serve others, and work for peace. Most recently, at the beginning of October, I started a knitting venture called Freedom Creations, which donates 100% of the profits to International Justice Mission, a human rights organization that is working to end modern-day slavery. I've been overwhelmed with how fast it's taken off in the past 2 months. Freedom Creations is a true example of how a little boldness and faith can truly make even a small impact on the world. My fight for peace can't really be defined by one thing. If there's one thing I hope you take from my story, it's that peace isn't something just to be pursued in the side or in your spare time. Peace is a passionate and intentional way of everyday life. Peace isn't just a checkmark in the good deed box. Peace is doing compassion to the point of no return, to the point where it becomes regular, a part of your life, something that you couldn't exist without. Peace will come when we learn to love each other in our communities, because it's pretty hard to go to war against someone we love. And no, nobody said peace would be easy. As C.S. Lewis puts it, to love is to be vulnerable. Peace will come when we can learn to lay down our weapons and be vulnerable, and simply love one another. Peace takes sacrifice, but nothing is more worth it. Fighting for peace has brought pretty much every form of tears to my eyes. Tears of frustration, sadness, hope, and joy. Peace can seem very slow sometimes. As one of my heroes, Katie Davis, says, it can feel like you're emptying the ocean with an eyedropper. But let me tell you, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It is so worth it. So get out there and do something for a more peaceful community. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody has any of this figured out. But we definitely won't accomplish anything if we don't do something. If you don't know where to start, come ask me afterwards about any of the organization I mentioned today, or actively search for social justice initiatives in your community. Start somewhere, anywhere. I so believe that everyone has the ability and responsibility to work for peace. And if you do know where to start, and your thoughts are going right to a cause you saw on Twitter this morning or that was mentioned to you by a friend the other day, then dig up that opportunity and call the phone number or check out the website or do what you have to do. And if you're thinking, nope, she's not talking about me right now, I totally am. Yes, you. Your action, your passion is the way in which peace will make its way into our world. We need everyone to embrace this lifestyle for this to work. Just try something, and trust me, you won't be able to stop pursuing peace. It might be slow sometimes, but it's also a lot of fun. And the people you get to work with will inspire you, keep you going, and change your life. The stories that will unfold before your eyes just might be the beauty you're looking for. Finally, I'd like to take a moment to mention the Philippines. You've heard me mention the Philippines a couple times today. As you've probably heard, they were recently hit by Super Typhoon Haiyan, which caused unbelievable destruction. It's been hard for me to watch the desperation and devastation on the news because that country is so close to my heart. I've walked on those very streets you've all seen on the news these past couple of weeks. Both my parents grew up there, and my dad spent many of his childhood summers in the hardest hit city of Tacloban. Now, many of the social justice initiatives I'm involved in are linked to that country. Haiyan relief could be another tangible way to begin to pursue peace. Please consider going home today and making a donation to the relief efforts. Every last dollar makes a difference, no matter how big or small. I so believe that with the world's help, that country can find its hope again. I'd like to thank you all again for coming out today, and I hope this morning you've been inspired to jump in and work for peace. Like I said before, yes, you. Your passion is the way in which peace will make its way into the world. Thank you.